They had something pure, something rare, but greed blinded them. They traded brilliance for the illusion of comfort. They replaced gold with garbage, and now they're choking on the stench of their own choices. You see, people don't value diamonds until they're buried beneath the dirt they worshipped. They laughed at what was real, they mocked what was rare, and now they're haunted by the emptiness of what they once desired. Because here's the truth. When you throw away what shines from within, you end up surrounded by things that rot from the outside. Now tell me, was it really worth it? They always think they're upgrading, trading the loyal for the loud, the genuine for the glamorous. But what they don't understand is that imitation shines only under artificial light. The moment darkness falls, the fake loses its glow, and only the real continues to burn. People chase the noise because silence terrifies them. They can't stand being alone with their guilt. So they surround themselves with distractions, cheap thrills that smell sweet for a second, then rot in their hands. They call it evolution. They call it moving on. But tell me, how can it be evolution when you're devolving into greed? How can you move forward when you've abandoned what made you gold in the first place? You see, the tragedy isn't that they lost something valuable. The tragedy is that they chose to lose it. They knew what they were doing. They just thought they'd never face the consequences. The irony is delicious, isn't it? They thought they were winning, collecting trophies, applause, validation. But behind the mask of success, their souls began to corrode. Because every false victory leaves a permanent scar on the truth they abandoned. They once looked down on the ones who stayed real. They mocked the quiet ones, the patient ones, the ones who didn't need to pretend. But time is the ultimate detective, and it always exposes what people tried to bury. Now the world they built on lies is collapsing under its own weight. The garbage they worshipped has turned toxic, poisoning their peace, their relationships, their sleep. And suddenly, they miss what they threw away. That's the cruel part of karma. It doesn't strike with fire, it strikes with memory, and there's no louder punishment than realizing the gold you tossed aside was the only light you ever had. They thought replacing you was an upgrade. They believed gold could be replicated, that authenticity could be manufactured. But now they stand surrounded by glittering lies, and the smell of decay is everywhere. They tried to erase your value by comparing you to the noise. But value isn't defined by attention, it's defined by endurance. And while they crumble in chaos, you've become something rarer, untouchable. Because gold doesn't argue with rust. It simply waits for time to prove its worth. You see, revenge isn't about destruction, it's about revelation. Let them drown in what they chose. Let them breathe the air they polluted. While you rise above, silent and golden, untouched by their rot, they replaced gold with garbage, and now they can finally smell the truth. The world doesn't forget purity. It only learns to regret losing it. And you were never the mistake. You were the lesson. So what do we learn from this little game? That not everything that shines is valuable, and not everything valuable needs to shine. They laughed when you walked away. They mocked your silence. But silence was your strategy. Because gold doesn't need to scream to prove it's real. Time has a beautiful way of exposing imitation. And when it does, the fake falls apart, while the real one stands untouched, glowing quietly in the dark. Let them smell the world they built. Let them taste the consequences of their greed. Because in the end, every choice has a scent, and only the pure survive the stench.